Hello everyone, welcome to today's project. This one is about 3 big anxiety concerns. So buckle up because these are big ones, and I've recognized them with clients, but also when I used to suffer from anxiety in the past. And I suffered from anxiety. If you're new to the channel, I went through generalized anxiety disorder, which involved many subcategories of agoraphobia, health anxiety, depersonalization was in there, PTSD. It was rough, and at the time I was juggling so much in my life that I couldn't contend with everything, and so I spiraled into a really deep dark hole. So let's dive into this hole. The first concern for me and many of the people suffering from anxiety is that you have problems making decisions. And this is a big one because when your anxiety system is active 24/7, like mine used to be, your amygdala is taking over all brain processes. This is the emotional brain. This is an ancient system. To think that you have more control over it than it has of you is foolish, because this is a very unconscious structure that works reflexively and without any real control, right? And it has to do that in order to keep us safe. So the amygdala takes over, and when it takes over, it's hard to make decisions or think rationally. A lot of my clients who come to me with anxiety, they say, Brad, I think I'm going crazy. I think I'm having problems with my brain. I think my brain is broken, essentially. And then it makes sense, because I used to think this way until I learned that this ancient brain structure is there to keep me safe, and to do that it has to work unconsciously. It has to take over and put itself into the driver's seat and work its magic that way. And so if your anxiety system is active, first of all, be real with yourself and be like, okay, well, I'm stressed. No wonder I'm having a hard time making decisions on a day-to-day basis. Okay, you gotta lighten the load a little bit there. So learning about the amygdala is a big step to anxiety recovery, but also you need to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest system, by doing things that will help bring about that system and lessen your anxiety system, which is your sympathetic nervous system. That's when your amygdala is active and it's detecting danger, even though you're inside your own home, right? And the danger is lurking inside your unconscious mind, because you are avoiding the certain stressors that are facilitating your anxiety, right? And we'll get into a little bit later about that later on in the video. But what I would say, when it's difficult to make a plan, I would recommend you I have this small planner above my desk in my place. So it has the days of the week on it, and I have these markers where I will plan my days. And even before I bought that, I would write in my journal the plan for the next day. So make a plan. This greatly helps reduce anxiety. First of all, my old self had no plan. So I was flailing about every single day. So in a journal, write down what your plan is tomorrow. That'll help alleviate anxiety. What's on your to-do list? Are you going to plan a part of your day where you are going to give back to yourself? Because you have to do that. You have to say, okay, 30 minutes in the morning, or 30 minutes at night, or on my lunch break, I'm going to meditate or do some breathing exercises, or I'm going to write in my journal. You have to actually fit that in somewhere, and writing it out will help cement in this plan or structure, because anxiety sufferers are in so much disorder. There's not enough order in their life. They need to add more order. They're in too much disorder. So you have to make a plan. Buy one of those things at Walmart that have the days of the week on it and put it up on your wall, right? And then write out what your plan of action is today. Also, anxiety sufferers need a structured approach. Okay, what I mean by this is that they need to follow some sort of program, some sort of coach, mentors. For me, I bought a program when I was suffering from anxiety, and I followed the program. It taught me a lot about myself and what I needed to do moving forward to resolve all of these chaotic snakes that have gotten beyond me. So yes, that's why I designed my own program for you guys. It's on my website at unpluganxiety.com. Buy it, follow the program. Even email me and we can talk about it together while you're doing the program. But I made this program so that you can follow the guide that I made through these audio files serve as a guide, but also I have a workbook. I have these releasing trauma meditations and exercises that you can do to help alleviate anxiety and make it a plan of action going forward, and it will greatly help. The second big anxiety concern is obsessing. Now, anxiety sufferers obsess over how they feel, and that is a sign that this thing is of great significance to you because your attention is focused and aimed towards this specific thing. But for me, I was solving the wrong problem because I was hyper focused on, oh my God, I have kidney disease, or I have, some sort of UTI. Oh my God. And my mind was so fixated on these potential health concerns, but I was trying to solve the wrong problem. I remember drinking so much cranberry juice because I thought I had a UTI, and I never had a UTI. So what was underneath that? Well, unresolved snakes that were below. Well, that's interesting because, going through health anxiety, I was hyper fixated on my health. But I was generally an unhealthy person. I had a very rocky foundation. So how do you build upon a foundation that's built upon sand? And so I had to reformulate my identity. So I had to look at my crutches, right? Everything I was doing daily that was not serving me because I wasn't getting the results I needed. I was actually sinking further into a hole. These crutches were not serving me whatsoever. So what I had to do at this point was I had to find a mentor. I had to find one of these structured approaches, right? This program. I had to learn about anxiety, learn about the amygdala, and go, okay, what I've been doing, oh my God, it hasn't been working. And that's why so many of you guys come to my channel and have this awakening. I see it all the time in the comments. That's because the way of being that you have been following up until this point hasn't been serving you appropriately, and now you have found answers. You've realized, you've come to these realizations that things need to change. Parts of you have to burn away, and then new parts of you have to be integrated in order for you to move forward into this more neutral state of emotion rather than being so highly emotional every single day. And so for me, all of my habits that I used to act out daily would produce 5 snakes. One habit would produce 5 snakes. For example, for me, smoking weed. This was one habit that would produce 5 snakes for me, right? I would smoke weed, get paranoid. I would eat junk food. So the junk food would make me feel bad. The junk food would inflame my joints. The junk food would actually cause more anxiety. And then when I would smoke weed, I would watch TV. So watching TV was an escape from all of the responsibilities I needed to take on. So that's an example, right? Of one act producing 5 outcomes that really aren't serving me and only facilitate more stress in my life. So sacrificing one habit, I realized that all of the snakes associated to that one habit would disappear. And then I was like, okay, well, my life has gotten 5% better. That's strange. But the thing is that it's a challenge because the habit is producing some sort of reward for you. So look at that. What reward is this thing producing for me? Is it making me feel safe? Is the reassurance I'm getting from Google or my parents making me feel a certain way? Like, what am I getting from that? How do I build trust in my body? That's something to think about. How do you build that trust in your body? Going out into the world forthrightly and facing the dragons of you, because you have to really look up to these mentors that you're adopting, or if you're on this YouTube channel, learn from these videos, learn from the podcast, because this channel is a tool for you to integrate new parts of you and to burn off and to sacrifice all of those other parts that aren't working for you at all. And so the next big anxiety concern, the last one we're talking about today, is you're catering to others and you're neglecting how you feel and how you are in your life. So this was something that I was doing regularly. I was overly compassionate to the people around me to the point where I wasn't even taking care of myself, and I was more of a burden to other people than I realized, because I thought compassion was part of this process. And so that this is a big thing, because I didn't feel like an individual. I felt like I was part of this collective superego that Freud would talk about, right? I was just part of the collective hive, like in Star Trek, the Borg of the species of this one mind. I was not feeling like an individual until I found coaches and someone like Wim Hof, who is so outside of the norm, who's this black sheep, who is this person that has transcended his own suffering, that has found enlightenment in suffering and meaning through the cold, through breathing, who is not like the typical person here in the Western world. I live in Canada. This person who is beyond the social norms. And so I found these great people, and it's easy to find these great people now on YouTube and on these podcasts. And so finding these people who are outside the norm will help you break free from this collective hive that you can easily be integrated into. And so now it is time to set a plan, because you need boundaries. And so you have to, when you're planning your day, slot in specific times of your day where you're going to give back to yourself. You're going to have your disciplined routine that nobody can take away from you. This is your sacred space. And now you can say no to people who are saying, hey Brad, why don't you do this? Or why can't we go here? It's like, nope, I can't do that right now because I have this plan. I am going to the library for this amount of time, or I have to meditate, or I am going to the gym, right? You have to learn to say no, because you need boundaries. And you need to take care of yourself, because how can you take care of other people when you can't take care of yourself? You're just going to be a burden for other people. Saying no is a very important part of this journey to self-mastery. Saying no is not hurting other people. It's actually, people respect other people who are assertive in that manner. And that's where I'm going to leave you on today's video. Thank you everybody for being here. Leave your comments below. I want to read them. I want to see what you guys think of this video and what you guys are currently battling. Rise above anxiety. I'll see you next time. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be one of the first to know. Namaste.